Okay, good evening. Before I make a start, can we just thank Ellie for her wonderful piano accompaniment as you took your seats. So thank you very much. Thank you. Look, welcome to Godalming College. My name's Emma Young. I'm proud to be the principal, and thank you for coming to visit this evening. I know it's really hot in here, so I will try and keep this talk as concise as I possibly can. But I just wanted to firstly say, look, you're really lucky in this part of the country. You've got a lot of choice as far as post-16 education is concerned. There are other colleges like ours. There are big GFE colleges that offer courses for students aged from 14 all the way up to 90, and of course there are also school sixth forms. But I wanted to firstly congratulate you though for sitting in the best post-16 provider in the area, and obviously I am really biased that is Godalming, and I'm going to try and unpick for you why that is in 10 key points. So you won't be surprised to know that I'm going to start off with our results. I'm really proud of the outcomes that we get with our students. Year on year, we exceed national benchmarks at both high grade and pass rates for both A-levels and BTECs across the suite of BTEC offer that we provide. If you want to look at the results in more detail for each individual subject, they're available on our website for last summer and then the 2 years prior to that. So please do have a little look at the results. But I'd also urge you to have a look at value added as well, because it's not just about the raw results, it's also about looking at how well providers do with their students based on their prior attainment. And if they have a positive value added, that means they help students on average to achieve better than you would expect them to do based on their prior attainment. And that's something that we do at Godalming College too. And again, you can access that information on the Department for Education performance tables if you would like to drill down into that further. We managed to achieve the excellent set of outcomes with a pretty comprehensive set of entry requirements. So the minimum entry requirement, and I stress the word minimum, is 5 GCSEs grades 9 to 4 to access a level 3 programme, and that's A-level BTEC or a combination of both. Now, you would say, well, she would say all of that about the results because she is very biased. She's already admitted it. But we have recently, I was delighted to get the phone call from Ofsted back in November to come and visit us again. They last were with us in 2019 and they were back in November, and we were delighted to once again retain our outstanding status. And that's something that the college has had for a number of decades now, that sustained outstanding provision, and that's one thing we're really proud of. And the reason for that success ultimately is the fantastic staff that we have working here at the college, both teaching and support staff that work with the students to help them achieve their potential. And I hope you meet as many of our teachers and indeed our students tonight as possible. Look, our teachers are specialists in their subjects, obviously, but they're also specialists in the specification, the A-level and the BTEC specifications that they're delivering, and they're also specialists in this age group. We don't have to worry about the Year 7 students, the Year 9 students and their curriculum. We just focus in on 16 to 18-year-olds and the specifications that we deliver from an A-level and BTEC perspective. Facilities, we're really proud of the facilities that we have at college, and hopefully you'll get to see some of those this evening as well. We've put a lot of investment in making sure that they're fit for purpose for the courses that students do. I'd urge you tonight to go across and see our Independent Learning Centre, kind of at the heart of the college, which is a brilliant resource for students when they're not in lessons. They can access silent study area, computers, book-based and e-book resources, and a brilliant team of library staff to help signpost them to those resources. So go and visit the ILC if you can. We've got our sports centre that has a gym that any student can use. You don't have to be studying A-level PE or BTEC sport. We've got our performing arts area that's got drama studio, music practice rooms. We've got the green room for our film and TV students. We've got specialist labs as well. So we're really proud of the facilities that we have here on offer. We've just opened not too long ago a new wellbeing hub as well, and an extension to our social studies space. Students always remind me at this point that I need to talk about food, because I think that's also a big deal breaker in terms of where to come and for post-16 study. So the one thing that we have done in the last few years is to bring our catering in-house. That enables us to better control price and quality. And we are just about to do an exciting project in the summer to refurb the kitchen, to add more hot food service points. And this is a really, really important factor. We have both already a Costa and a Starbucks. So you can visit those tonight. They're open if you want to go and see those. And Phil, our catering manager, is serving up some of the hot food if you want to taste the food for yourselves. Point 5, our unique enrichment programme. Again, something we've worked hard on over the last few years to make sure we get right for students, because the vast majority of students nationally will do 3 subjects. That's A-levels or a combination of A-levels or BTECs or all BTECs. And so how do we help Godalming College students stand out from the crowd when they're applying for university, for an apprenticeship, for a job? And it's that extra around the subjects that is a key part of that. So students, we expect here to do some form of enrichment in their first year and in their second year. In the first year, the 2 most popular choices are what we call our Plus Active suite of options. They're very similar to what you would expect to do at school, things like sport, music, drama, Duke of Edinburgh, so you can continue doing those or you can take those up again. And then there's the Plus Explore pathway, which is the umbrella term we give to a whole range of different short courses, and students can do 1 of those or 2 of those in their first year. They're 8 weeks in duration. They're not assessed, but they are designed to develop areas of interest, to find out more about a particular career. So examples include Law Next, Forensics, Debating Club, Art for All, and my personal favourite, Dissection Club. So there's a whole range of offer, and again, more information on our website, and there's also staff in the Independent Learning Centre if you want to find out more about our enrichment offer. In the second year, there is a small suite of additional qualifications that students can do alongside their core programme, things like Arts Award, but also things like the Extended Project Qualification. That's the most popular amongst our second year students, and that's where they get to pick an area of research. Might be linked to 1 or more of their subjects or something completely different, and then they come up with a research question which they either write up into a 5,000-word report or produce an artefact, and they have to present their findings. And that's really good from a skill development perspective, particularly if students want to go on to university where they've got a dissertation, and obviously that skill set provides a good foundation for that method of assessment at university. Point 6 is very much the emphasis we place here at college on learning, and that's helping our students to grow that love of learning, to be reflective learners, to utilise the feedback that they get from their teachers, to improve their next bits of work. And we help them with how they approach their learning in the classroom and outside of the classroom. And we constantly do that with them through their 2 years that they're with us. We were working on that this morning with our lower 6 students, for example. So there really is a strong emphasis on learning, but it's not just for the students, it's also for staff as well. So last week we had our learning week where teachers were going in and out of lessons. They were going along to teaching and learning workshops to develop their practice. And it's true for everybody at the college. So I always say the moment I think I know all the answers as principal is the moment I need to retire, because it's not healthy. We want to constantly reflect, learn and improve what we do. So that strong emphasis on learning is a key part of our provision. And again, in the ILC, there are staff on hand to help you understand how we develop that with our students. Point 7, and I hope you get a sense of this tonight, we are a really caring, supportive community. All students will have a personal tutor who will look after them for the 2 years that they are with us. They're a qualified teacher, so they'll help them to settle in through the induction programme, right through to helping them into their second year with their progression plans, writing their reference for their next step, whatever that may be. We have a learning support department who are obviously there for students with SEN needs, but also they're there for all students if they want to access help with, say, time management or essay writing skills, they can go to that department. And they're here on the top floor of the ILC this evening. We also have a really strong health and wellbeing support for students, and again they're available in our wellbeing hub if you'd like to go and speak to them. So we have a health and wellbeing manager who's a qualified nurse, a wellbeing practitioner, a team of counsellors, all there on hand to support students should they need it. Point 8 is our excellent support for progression. So we have a great Student Futures team who put on talks for students about different types of career, who were there for one-to-one careers interviews. We have our Aspire programme for students who are looking to apply to very competitive universities or competitive courses, support on hand for that, things like Oxford and Cambridge, medics, veterinary, dentistry, but also for specialist courses like music conservatoires, art foundation, drama school, and so on and so forth. And this data that you can see on the slide here, I think is the data I'm most proud of. It's the data for how well former Godalming College students do when they graduate. And this is the 2023 data. We get it from the Higher Education Statistics Agency. We're still waiting to get the 2024 from that group. But you can see 88.9% of students from former Godalming students got a first or a 2-1, the two highest degree classifications, and we beat the sector averages, including the sector that we belong to. And I think that, for me, proves that the all-round experience that we provide for our students helps them to be successful with their next step of university, if that's where they want to progress on to. I'm just going to show you now a very short video to give you even more of a flavour of what we're all about here at Godalming. Film was put together by a former Godalming College student, and we do get our alumni to come back and talk to our current students about how they're progressing in their particular career or field or university course. So just a couple more points from me. Point 9 is the wide range of courses that we have on offer at the college. Obviously, there are advanced level courses in subjects that students are currently studying at school, but I'd urge you to look at new subjects as well, things like maybe A-level politics or history of art or philosophy, and kind of look at that whole range that you can possibly do. And at college, we have a really clever computer algorithm that allows us to put together pretty much any combination of subjects so that the student has a very individualised study programme. We're not constrained by subjects being in a block together, meaning you have to pick one. So that individual study programme is again, a unique selling point, I think, of Godalming. And then finally, the stepping stone point. And I think this is a really, really important point about Godalming, is that we provide that stepping stone between school and the next step, whatever that may be. And I've always worked in sixth form colleges, started my teaching practice in a school, but wanted to work in a sixth form college, and I was lucky to get my first job hundreds of years ago at Farnborough Sixth Form College. And then since then, I found myself becoming principal in 2016 of this fabulous college. And the reason I've always worked in this sector is because I passionately believe it's the best environment for 16 to 18-year-olds. That slightly more mature adult environment, and making that change at 16 gives students much more confidence when they have to make that change at 18. So look, I appreciate it's really hot in here, so I'm going to quickly go on to my very last slide and fly through that. Next steps. Obviously, we would welcome your application. They're now open for 2026 entry. The deadline is the 20th of October at midday. Urge you to get your applications in as soon as possible. If your application is progressed, students will then have a course advice session to agree a provisional study programme in terms of subject choices, and then they're also invited into a taster day when their GCSEs are over to make sure that they've got those subject choices right. Thank you so much for your tolerance of the heat and for your interest in Godalming College. Enjoy the rest of your visit. Thank you.